Good morning and welcome to Live in a Greenhouse on YouTube. If you're new here, this channel is about my journey to design, build, and then live in the first greenhouse enclosed tiny home in the United States. After almost 2 weeks of nothing happening on site, this episode, the heating contractors are here to rough in for the mini split, and then Brian, the electrician, is here to rough in the electrical. Everyone Matt has had on this project has been great, but Brian has also done some work at my sister's house here on the island, and she gave him a glowing review. So I've been looking forward to not only making some progress this week, but also working with Brian. So stay tuned as the tiny house gets wired up. First up is rough in for the mini split. Just one unit in the living room will provide heating and cooling for the whole house. This pipe will drain off condensation. The condensation pipe runs outside. It'll be behind plants in the corner. Notching to run lines back to the condenser that will be on the north outside the greenhouse. Had to go up and over to an interior wall rather than straight down because the sill sits directly on the foundation, so you can't go down to the crawl space through any of the exterior walls. Matt is busy extending the conduit for these lines. I've never seen a strap like this before. Very cool. It's that time of year for the fawns to be born. These are definitely wild deer, but they have no fear. They come right up to the trailer and walk around my property. Preparing for the electrician, I placed yellow sticky notes for outlets, switches, and location of other electrical items. I forgot how many decisions there are to power up a house. After a lengthy walk around with Brian the electrician, Lincoln got to attaching the boxes and cans. Brian started on the distribution box. And Matt marked the information for the washer and dryer, and then the kitchen appliances. I'd acquired all the light fixtures from building salvage before the electrician arrived, so Brian could check measurements for each fixture. With switches, outlets, fans, and wall heater, it took some discussion to figure out where to place everything. The kitchen is U-shaped with standard size appliances, except the fridge is 24 inches wide. On this side, there will be upper cabinets with under cabinet lights. Locating the center of the sink to be able to balance the two pendant lights over the sink in front of the big window. For weeks, I've been waffling on skylights in the kitchen, but today I need to make the decision so Brian can place the recessed can lights. My decision was, yes, let's add at least one skylight. I'll decide later whether to add another. I work from home and want to be able to get internet in the house, the greenhouse, the outbuildings, so there was also a lot of discussion where to place the router in such a small home. The decision was on top of the tall pantry cabinet where Lincoln's on the ladder. With decisions made, Lincoln could place the rest of the recessed cans. The service entrance is on the other side of the house, outside the greenhouse, so Matt ran conduit to this location before backfilling the foundation. Looks like it'll need to be extended a couple feet horizontally and then run to the panel. Recessed cans and a chandelier in the living room. Bet the longtime channel followers expected to see Dave on the shovel. Lincoln started drilling to run the wire. Matt and Brian worked on where to place the exterior lights required by code. Neither Matt or Brian have experience with controllers for the greenhouse's ridge vent motors, so they spend a bit of time looking, checking specs, poking around, looking some more, poking some more, with the outcome being we can open and close the vents with a cordless drill until the power is turned on. I did a walk around checking box placement so adjustments could be made before wire was run. Lincoln continued drilling for wires while Matt moved on to installing the pump in the rainwater tank. Matt installed a clear tube to monitor the water level in the tanks. It took a bit of explaining before it occurred to me he's just describing a water level. It works like this. This water is primarily for greenhouse irrigation, but there will be an irrigation standpipe down here, so I can also hook up a hose on this end of the property where there hasn't been water in the past. It's impressive how much wire and how many different types and gauges of wire go into a home these days. How many times do you think Lincoln was up and down the ladder that day? Since I'm at work at my day job, I can only pop in for a few minutes at a time throughout the day. As this day progressed, the house looked more and more like a wire jungle. Finally, time to work on the service entrance outside the greenhouse. But of course, it's raining. It's great to see these young guys coming up in the trades, and Lincoln sure hustled all 3 days he was there. After a few hours of rain, I was all excited to check the water level. Empty. Oh, the valve was closed. Opened the valve, and later that evening, there was about 500 gallons. And there you have it. At the end of day 3, both panels are ready for inspection, and all the wires are neat and tidy. Unfortunately, the inspector's day on the island was yesterday, So now we wait a week for inspection before insulation can start. Thank you for watching. Please like and subscribe and come back next time when we try to make progress while waiting for the electrical inspection.